The story of Esther unfolds the remarkable journey of a young Jewish woman who rose to become queen and ultimately saves her people from an annihilation plot orchestrated by the wicked Haman. The festival of Purim commemorates the triumph of the Jewish people. The word Purim means lots or cast lots in ancient Persian, referring to the lots that Haman cast to determine the day on which he would eliminate the Jews. Purim is a vibrant Jewish festival that celebrates the miraculous salvation of the Jewish people from a plot to destroy them in ancient Persia. The holiday honors the bravery of Queen Esther and her cousin Mordecai, who successfully thwarted the plans of the wicked Haman. People often dress up in costumes, reflecting the hidden nature of the miracle that saved the Jews and a festive atmosphere. The story of Esther is read aloud in synagogues. Graggers, or noisemakers, are used to drown out Haman's name when it is read in the book of Esther. A special Purim meal is eaten. Purim is celebrated on the 14th day of the Jewish month of Adar, which usually falls in February or March. The day before Purim is a fast, called the Fast of Esther, commemorating Esther and her people fasting while begging God for salvation from Haman's decree. After Queen Vashti was deposed for refusing to obey King Xerxes, also identified as King Ahasuerus, his advisor advised him to seek a new queen. She disobeyed the king's command to appear before his guests at a banquet, which he wanted to use to display her beauty. A search was conducted throughout the kingdom to find beautiful young women, who were brought to the palace. Esther, a Jewish woman raised by her cousin Mordecai, who served at the king's gate, was among those chosen. She underwent a year of beauty treatments and, during this time, kept her Jewish identity a secret as advised by Mordecai, and subsequently won a beauty contest. When she was presented to the king, he was captivated by her beauty and character, ultimately choosing her to be his queen. Haman, a high-ranking official, was promoted by the king and demanded that everyone bow to him. Mordecai refused, citing his Jewish beliefs, which infuriated Haman. In his rage, Haman plots to annihilate all the Jews in the Persian Empire. He convinced the king to issue a decree for their elimination. Haman was filled with pride and ambition after being honored by the king. He desired a grand public display of his importance, hoping to receive lavish praise and recognition. He wanted to be paraded through the city on the king's horse, wearing the king's royal garments, while a nobleman proclaims his greatness to the people. In a dramatic turn of events, the king instructs him to carry out this very honor for Mordecai, a Jew whom Haman despised. Mordecai was honored by King Ahasuerus for saving his life by uncovering a plot to remove him from the earth. Mordecai learned of Haman's plan and urges Esther to intervene. Initially hesitant, Esther ultimately decided to approach the king, risking her life, and invited him and Haman to a series of banquets. During the second banquet, she revealed her Jewish identity and Haman's plot against her people. Esther pleaded with the king to save her people, resulting in a new decree that allowed the Jews to defend themselves. The king, enraged by Haman's treachery, orders Haman to be executed on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Esther was chosen as queen, a position that seems like a stroke of luck but is, in reality, a part of God's divine plan. Just like Esther, we may find ourselves in situations that seem coincidental, yet God has placed us there for a reason. We are reminded in Esther 4 verse 14 that perhaps we have come to our position for such a time as this. In moments of crisis, she revealed her heritage to King Xerxes, risking her life. When faced with challenges, it's essential to remember who we are in Christ, and to draw strength from that identity. Esther 4 verse 16 captures her resolve: if I perish, I perish. Her choice to take action, even with risks involved, shows that courage means acting despite fear, not being free from it. Esther had to choose between an easy path and a difficult one. She chose the difficult path because it was the right choice. We too are called to step out in faith, whether it's speaking up for justice, standing by a friend, or taking a stand for our beliefs. She relied on her cousin Mordecai and the prayers and fasting of the Jewish community. This highlights that we are stronger together, and when we come together in prayer and action, we can face daunting challenges. Throughout the story of Esther, the hand of God is evident. This teaches us about God's ability to work behind the scenes. Even in times of uncertainty, we can have faith that God is guiding us and that His plans for us are good. The story of Esther calls us to reflect on our own lives and the roles we play in our communities. Are we willing to embrace our purpose and act with courage? Just as Esther was used by God to bring about salvation for her people, we can be instruments of change in our world. God has gifted each of us for a specific purpose. Even though the journey isn't always easy, God promises to be with us as we follow the path He's called us to. Esther was placed in a position of influence for a reason, and her courage and wisdom allowed her to stand up for her people at a critical moment. Let us stand firm in our identity, seek God's guidance, and step out in faith, knowing that we are all part of a greater story that God is writing. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.